Hi everyone, my name is Nirma Bustamante. I'm one of the International Emergency Medicine Fellows at Harvard University and Brigham and Women's Hospital. And today I'm going to be speaking about data collection security. So in a lot of these emergency crises and humanitarian situations, they are very complex. And one important factor that at times is not thought of thoroughly is the security situation of the data collection, not only of the international staff that is going into that setting or that country, but also the local staff, the local organizations, and most critically, the participants that are involved in your study. It is extremely important to take into consideration the community perceptions of not only the organization in which you're working with, but the question that you are asking. Is that question a taboo topic in that culture or that country? And how is that question, or the fact that these participants are participating in your study or being seen associated with you or organization, how is that going to affect them? Not only during the data collection, but also, or most importantly, after you leave. So one example I wanted to go over was a recent study that I was involved in Haiti. It actually was a gender-based insecurity study dealing with the perceptions of insecurity in urban slums in Haiti, Bangladesh, and Ethiopia. So we worked in this urban slum, Cité Soleil. If you guys are not aware, Cité Soleil is one of the most unstable and insecure neighborhoods in all of Port-au-Prince. The reason we were able to even go into this neighborhood and to conduct our study was because of the strong relationship we had with the organization that we were working with. We were working with Concerned Worldwide, and we were able to use the long-term relationships, trust, and rapport that they had built in this community for 20 and 30 years with not only the community, but the community leaders and the government that were able to provide the security for us to do our data collection. Even having said that, even with all of that, having security protocols, having exit strategies, during one of our interviews in Cité Soleil, there was a very large fight. As we were speaking to one of the stakeholders, one of the community leaders, who was very well respected, there was a very large fight right outside the building that we were working in. So because he's a community leader, he had to leave right away, and right away we had to implement all the security protocols that we had put into place and rehearsed. Thankfully, nothing large occurred, everything dissolved, but it just comes, it's just a very small example of some of the very surprising things that can come up and things that you need to be aware of and prepare for before you go into these settings. So while you are preparing your study protocols, while you're preparing your IRB, it's important to ask yourself a few questions. One, how are the local historical, political, religious, or cultural tensions in that region that existed long before you ever came up with your research question? How are those going to affect your research study? They can affect it directly in how you come into the country, go into that neighborhood, how, in what manners and with what tools you're going to collect your data, and how you're going to disseminate that information afterwards. It's important to take into consideration how the involvements of the participants can affect their lives, not only immediately, but after that data is disseminated and published. You have to be responsible with not only the data that you're collecting, but how you're going to disseminate it and to what extent. Take into consideration the security protocols that you have to integrate into your research, and the exit strategies not only in the specific neighborhood, but into the country, and how that's also going to affect those local NGOs. Do you identify yourself in association with that NGO like we did in Cité Soleil? That actually was a protective mechanism for us because they trusted Concerned Worldwide. If we just showed up with no identification, we would have put ourselves in even more danger. And lastly, make sure that the work that you are doing is not going to affect the populations that you're there to help to begin with. Make sure you understand the tensions and what the implications of your work will be far after you leave. Thank you.